Welcome to Ryder Gamer. My name's Kevin. I've just been recording for like the last 4 hours while my mic was muted the entire time. That's always awesome to do. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about Baldur's Gate 3 and Elden Ring becoming the standard of gaming, or RPG gaming, I guess you could say. And why devs consider Baldur's Gate 3 an anomaly, not new standard for RPG genre. It's Rockstar level nonsense for scope. And of course, you know, Elden Ring also had its moment in the limelight where we had a developer, an employee of a developing company tweet something ridiculous about Elden Ring, its UI, etc., etc. This, of course, then sparked many gamers to feed into this controversy. And a lot of them were, I'd like me more Elden Ring. And it seems like people are like, I'd like me more Baldur's Gate 3. But I'm going to give you that grain of salt to that argument. Because I remember when people were saying that they would like Elden Ring to, you know, it's fresh, it's new. But I think that's what a lot of gamers are missing the point to, is that very concept, is it's fresh and it's new. The moment we see Elden Ring 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Elden Ring Bastard. I don't know, that sounds like a dumbass name, but I'm trying to come up with, you know, you get the point. There would probably be some unnumbered Elden Ring games. It would be ridiculous. It would lose its sense of wonder. Now, granted, don't get me wrong. Elden Ring kind of loses its sense of wonder the first time you play it. And I would recommend, if you haven't played it, try to find videos that aren't spoilerish in terms of where items are if you want to try and go out there and just explore and find items on your own. Because the moment you know where all the stuff is, you ignore all the crappy stuff and you just go straight there. Which, to me, Elden Ring ends up losing its sense of wonder the second, third, fourth, fifth time that you end up playing through it, because you know where stuff is. I think that same feeling is also true for a game like No Man's Sky. Even though it's exaggeratedly bigger than it needs to be, that's also the problem, because limited graphical resources means it doesn't take you long to discover everything there is to discover in No Man's Sky. Thus, it's going to lose its sense of wonder after the first time you play the game, you know? And if you're watching videos of people telling you where to go, how to do, then it's definitely going to lose its sense of wonder, maybe even on your first playthrough, if you do something like that. I want you to imagine for a second if Elden Ring had been produced by Ubisoft themselves. I mean, the game made millions, so there is objectively no reason why Elden Ring would not become the next Assassin's Creed milked franchise by Ubisoft if they had developed it. And that goes for any major company. I don't mind the idea of an Elden Ring sequel. I'm 39 years old. If From Software released one when I'm 49 years old, I'll be fine with that. Time. And not just developing time, but time for me to, I can't really say take a break from Elden Ring, because I probably would play it again somewhere within that 10-year span. But yeah, I think you get the understanding of where I'm getting at. You know? Don't milk the shit out of it. And I think that is what any other developer would have done because of the publisher when it came to Elden Ring. And when you look at a game like Baldur's Gate 3, and, you know, number one, controversy that there's like 17,000 apparent endings. All right, here's where this information comes from right here. So take it with a grain of salt. And when I first became aware of that, I was like, that's stupid. What fucking game? All right, I'm a book reader, if you haven't been able to tell. Like, there's no fucking way I would... do you remember those adventure-type books? Choose your own ending, you know, go to this page to do this, go to that page. There's no fucking way I would read a book that had 17,000 fucking endings. There's no way I'd play a game that would do that. Well, okay, technically, I would play the game, but there's no way I would waste time trying to get all 17,000. And I guarantee you, objectively, that they're all meaningless endings. And I can say that as an objective fact, not even like my opinion, because even games that have had less amount of endings, many of them have felt, well, yeah. You know, a lot of these games have what I call false choices, where it's like, in the end, your choice doesn't matter. Like, you look at The Walking Dead from Telltale Games, there's minor spoilers here. There comes a point where you have to choose between a kid and an adult. They're both getting attacked by a zombie. You have to pick which one to save. But the irony from this is it doesn't matter, because the adult is going to die. Always. No matter if you choose to save the kid or if you choose to save the adult will die. That is what I call a false choice. There is no direct consequences, such as the kid dying in that scenario. As opposed to, well, we don't want the kid to die, so we're going to give you this false choice, but still kill the person you chose to save. And I'm pretty confident 17,000 endings, there's going to be a lot of horseshit, generic bullshit like that don't amount to anything. And you know, another hypocrisy of gamers is they keep saying that open world games are getting too big, but yet why are we going to sit here and praise Baldur's Gate for apparently it also has a big ass map? And you know, this is the hypocrisy of gamers. I find it funny that we'll vitriolize one company for saying something or doing something, but we give another company a pass. Such is the way of gamers. And you know, at the end of the day, I'm not saying that Baldur's Gate is going to be a crappy game because it has 17,000 endings or anything like that. Quote unquote, 17,000 variations of an ending, whatever. I'm not saying it is bad. I'm not saying that Elden Ring is bad. The only thing that I'm saying is that these are not what I would want the standard of an RPG game to be. Because like Assassin's Creed, it would become dry and stale over time. Like, I remember playing Assassin's Creed and them having this, you know, every now and then get pulled from the game, which was fucking annoying as fuck. And still is, even today, even though they don't do it that often. But I was more lenient back in the day when Desmond was in the game, because I had assumed that we would eventually get an Assassin's Creed game that was set in modern times, dealing with the Templars and the Assassins, and, you know, scaling skyscrapers and stuff like that. I thought that would have been cool. But then, you know, they fucking killed him. They killed him like Joel. Fucking stupid. It's crap. Unimaginative. I mean, that's my opinion, but I'm sure there's other gamers out there that would agree with me. There would also be some that disagree with me. But the point being here is that the one thing developers have ultimately proven is that they will milk the shit out of anything. And when you look at, like, you know, this is a video from Legacy Killer. It's 2 weeks old. So let me give you a small example here. The issue is that most game companies nowadays are trying to increase profit by giving less and monetizing more. So when they see a game giving so much without the bloated monetization, they think, we can't profit doing that. God, I hope this doesn't catch on, and gamers start actually wanting more for their money. The problem with this entire fucking statement is it's full of shit. The reason why it's full of shit is because how many indie games have microtransactions in them? So I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about, because there's plenty of games out there that are showing developers that gamers like games that don't have microtransactions in them. There's also AAA games that don't have microtransactions in them. They're rare, but they exist. So again, it's not showing developers that this is what gamers want, because they're going where the money is at. If there's more people buying microtransactions, and it's not even just the people that buy microtransactions. If you buy a game and say, I'm not going to participate in the microtransactions, you have objectively told the developers you agree with the microtransactions. You just done it in a different way. So why should they listen to you or any other gamer when they start bitching about these microtransactions? You say you want to sit here and praise Baldur's Gate for doing something that other games have done before, and you just sound like a fucking idiot at the end of the day. I've always said in my old gamer rant videos that a company needs to show up and not do everything that modern day companies are doing. Now, yeah, we see individual games every now and then that don't follow the standard of what we expect, but that is proof enough that it's really not showing gamers anything. Gamers will still buy the once a year release of Assassin's Creed. There's people that are enamored by the 6 or 5 that are being developed, and yet we will still complain that it's being milked. It's kind of, whether we're talking Baldur's Gate 3 here or whether we're talking Elden Ring, those are standards that should not become standard because they're just going to get milked. The moment developers start producing their own versions of Elden Ring, I think Elden Ring, except maybe ones that are actually created by From Software, will become quite stale. So it's not really something that I would want. And I look at From Software as a small development company, no different than Naughty Dog, even though technically Naughty Dog's backed by some big boys, but that's neither here nor there. But I think Naughty Dog lost themselves the moment The Last of Us became popular. And I think it's only a matter of time before they become the mini version of Electronic Arts or Ubisoft. And that's not something I want for From Software within of itself. I don't mind success, but I don't want that success milk. But that's also one of the biggest problems in gaming, is that it will be, because they're going to go where the money is. So we lose either way. This is just one writers of thoughts and opinions on, Baldur's Gate and Elden Ring becoming the standard of gaming. I don't really think it should be. Because, I've already fucking said it in this video. If you didn't make it to this point, I don't know what else to fucking tell you. Have a nice day. Go play the next Assassin's Creed game, I guess. And then bitch about it! It's just the same game! Yeah, no shit, so is Madden, but Angry Joe still buys that fucking horse shit. He's a whale of a different kind. Alright? He doesn't buy the microtransactions. But Electronic Arts loves it when he buys the game. Oh, what a fucking hypocrite. See, and that also goes to show you. Angry Joe, Electronic Arts. What's the difference? Nothing. They go where the money is. It's business.